Welcome to the Red Hot Reds podcast. I'm Roger. That's Ricky. It is that time of the week that we have a special guest, a guy that's part of the Reds organization, a catcher that's been tearing it up his first year in the pros, a guy that started out in Daytona and got promoted midseason to my hometown team, the Dayton Dragons, midseason. So they really value this guy in the Reds organization. We really value his time that he has given us to talk about his career and about his Reds time in our organization and hopefully the future and what's to come. So today, Ricky, we have catcher Ryan McCrystal, and we are very grateful to have him today. And Ricky, if you're ready, let's start the show.
Let's go.
The Red Hot Reds podcast. Here are your hosts, Ricky Logan and Roger Straz.
All right. Welcome to the podcast. We have on today the 2024 Reds 9th round pick, the catcher out of East Carolina University. Go Pirates. A guy that we're very grateful to have on the show to talk about his career and everything and be able to share some knowledge. He says that he's a talker, and we like those kind of guys that be able to tell us stories and let us know about all the, about themselves. So again, we'd like to welcome to the show, Mr. Ryan McCrystal.
How we doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
Great.
Great. We hear you're back home in North Carolina. How long you been there? How's that going?
I got back here about 1 a.m. after our last game in Dayton on that Sunday and kind of just hanging out, feeling good, not really having too much to do when I wake up, working out, hitting all the normal stuff, lots of golf, too much golf probably, but.
Okay. All right. And you're left-handed batter. Do you swing lefty for golf?
Yeah.
Or you...
Yeah.
Oh,
I do.
Okay. Nice. That's kind of like my uncle. My uncle's like that too, but that neither here nor there. We're really appreciative, Ryan, for you coming on, talking with us. We are going to talk about a little bit about yourself, how you came up through baseball. We're going to try to go back as far as we can with high school and whatnot. But we usually like to start off every single interview with our first question, and that one is, what is your first baseball memory or your favorite baseball memory?
My first baseball memory is I have family home videos where my first memory of watching myself on a baseball field is crying when my brother was playing when he was 3 and I was 1 because I couldn't play. But my first real memory is when I broke my arm when I was like 4 or 5, and they gave me a celebrity at bat essentially at the end of the game because I couldn't play, but I was causing such mayhem in the dugout that they let me go ahead and hit and T-ball. So that's probably my first memory when I thought my world was crashing down because I couldn't play in my T-ball game at Mechanicsville Little League.
Okay. All right. What did you do to break your arm? Were you playing?
No, my mom she put one of my stuffed animals on a little ledge and I jumped to get it and banged my elbow on it and it cracked and it was just a little freak accident. So it's one of those things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you recovered from that because that could have been a traumatic thing, especially, when at least you didn't do it playing the game, because then maybe that might have sent you on a different trajectory for that. But good. I'm glad that worked out. And you say you played starting at age 4 and you've been playing ever since?
Yeah. I mean, my first word was ball. So I've been playing sports or whatever I can as long as possible. I think I started playing when I was around 2 or 3 called blast ball, where everyone would just line up on a rope and someone would hit it and then run to a base that was squeaky. And that was what it was. But my mom always said that I was the one that was running after the ball and trying to get it back to the line, and everyone else was just kind of standing around.
Nice. All right. And what other sports did you play?
I played basketball growing up for a long time. And then I always wanted to play football, but my uncle played football and he was a running back and he had some really bad issues with concussions. So I figured that the best alternative was to play probably the tougher position in baseball. So I just went ahead and started catching.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And and how long you been playing catcher? Like when was the first time you played?
I didn't start catching until I was around 10 or 11. I used to play third and first for the most part when I was really young. And then our catcher quit and we didn't have anybody else. And so they tossed me back there, and I guess the ADHD side of me loves having something to do all the time because you can't really get distracted. And so I guess it just kind of clicked on all cylinders there.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, you were fairly ranked out of high school. You went to Fuquay Varina in North Carolina. Is that right?
Yeah, Fuquay Varina. When you guys asked where I was from, I purposely didn't say what town because I wanted to see if one of you would try and pronounce it.
So I actually, funny story. I went to school with a kid in elementary school. His last name was Fuquay. It was spelled the same way. I just fumbled it.
That's crazy.
You won state championship, MVP, and you had a 3.75 GPA or higher. What was high school like for you in general, just whether it was in class or just baseball?
Yeah. My parents did a great job, like just all growing up. Like my mom is a teacher, and you could say school came first. Obviously, like I didn't love school, like I loved baseball, but I also knew that I wouldn't get to do what I wanted to do if I didn't get grades that she was happy with. So I was always lucky enough I didn't have to study too much in high school. I was smart enough to get by with pretty good grades, but that was definitely the most important thing from a family side of things was that, and then the way that I acted on the baseball field. And then I committed to ECU when I was a sophomore in high school. I kind of developed one summer, kind of not randomly, but everything kind of pieced together, and I began throwing hard. I committed as a two-way, so I was a pitcher and a catcher, and they only let me end up throwing one bullpen there before I spiked 50% of my sliders. And they said, just stick with the batter's box for right now, kid. And then I ended up really, really sprouting when I met my hitting coach from around here when I played with the Dirtbags in high school in between my junior and senior year. I was lucky enough to play on a really, really good Dirtbags team. And there's a player named Khalil Watson who is with the Guardians organization now, I'm pretty sure. He drafted by the Marlins in the first round that our draft year out of high school. And so there were lots of eyes on me, and I finally learned how to move the right way in the ways that it clicked with me mentally as a hitter. And my trajectory as a hitter and catcher kind of took off, and pitching kind of took a back seat for a little bit.
I guess as far as like school goes, do you have a favorite subject that you like more than any of them?
I feel like it's a typical guy answer, but I loved history because, I don't know, it's just always cool to me. Like, Paul Revere was a great guy. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I was him, but at least I can learn about him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, high school. And did you play multiple sports in high school, or was it just baseball?
I never played like for my high school team or anything. I played rec basketball with a bunch of my buddies around here for 1 year, my junior year of high school, but that's it. I just stuck with baseball because it was pretty much a full-time commitment at that point.
Nice. And then, yeah, like you had mentioned, you committed to Eastern Carolina, and
first off, East Carolina. Don't say that to other guys; they'll jump you.
All right, so East Carolina. My bad. Go Pirates! Go Pirates! I had a great career there, and like, what was it like playing, ball in your home state for college?
Yeah, so it was really, really cool. Both my parents, that's where my parents met. They both went to school there, so it was really, really cool to be able to feel like I was representing my family too, and going to a school that had a really good program. And I have a brother who means the world to me. He's got special needs, and so one of his fixations is my baseball career and just watching me play. And it was really cool to be an hour and a half away from him, and so he was always there, riling up the crowd. I mean, he was more famous than me in town of Greenville for my first 2 years of school before my junior year. So it was really, really cool being able to play close to home and just play at a great program like that.
Great, yeah. And I'm guessing, does he still follow your career today, like your brother?
Oh, yeah. So our last series in Dayton, I got a concussion that week right before that, like the Friday or Saturday of that last week of the week in Fort Wayne. And so they drove up on Monday to see me, and he hadn't gotten to go all year because he had work here and couldn't take off, and he was pissed at me when I got a concussion as if I had any say. But yeah, he tries to keep up as much as he can.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. And yeah, that brotherly love, that's really nice to hear about. You say he's your younger brother. How much younger is he?
He's 25. But it was one of those. I kind of took the role of big brother pretty early on and take a lot of pride in that. So
Yeah, I can relate to that. My oldest son has special needs, and he's obsessed with baseball. Like, I
yeah,
mean, he goes on YouTube and just watches Reds highlights, and then he just basically just recreates the calls. Like, you'll hear him like, and there's a line drive by Ellie De La Cruz in the right center field, and it's just
Yeah.
he just goes straight John Sadak. But yeah, that's awesome, man. While you were also in college, you played in the Appalachian League. I see. You played for the Burlington Sock Puppets. How was playing with them, and how did that help your career? Do you think? I think you hit over 400, 6 home runs, 22 doubles, 82 RBIs in less than 50 games. So, seems like you did pretty well.
Yeah, my first year of college in general, I was kind of fighting with I could have taken money out of high school, taken more money than I ended up getting, but I was not ready as a person yet, and I'm glad that I made the decision to go to school first. And I went to school with the idea to try and make more money out of school, but it's not really what God had in store for me. And I'm thankful that I did what I did, because my first year was kind of tough, not playing as much as I wanted to, or that I thought I should have, because I was a 18 or 19-year-old kid that thought way too highly of themselves. And when I went to Burlington that first summer, it was kind of like, it's time to reset a little bit and like remember who I am, like who am I as a baseball player and person, like trying to build in summer ball, a lot of guys just go and play. But for me, I wanted to try and build a little bit of leadership and then really get back to my roots as a hitter. And luckily I was able to do that. And it was one of those where you can't just sit there and get in your head, because you're playing 6 games a week, just like it is in the minor leagues. And it was just one of those things where I almost fell in love with baseball that summer, because it was just, obviously, when I was hot at the plate that summer too, which helps. But it was just good to be able to play every day and be an hour from home then too.
And yeah, your junior year at East Carolina University. Sorry, my bad.
You're good. You're good.
ECU.
ECU. You hit 346 and 7 home runs and 39 RBIs, and with a 99.4 fielding percentage. And that is like, great season behind that. And you were basically, were you in the mindset that you knew you were kind of looking to be drafted after that season? Like, what was the thought process behind it? It sounded like you said that you could have got, out of high school taken possibly by a team, but like, what has changed in that time from when you were 18 to after your junior year?
Yeah. So I obviously, like, the second that you don't go out of high school, that the next time you're eligible is as a junior. And it was one of those where I fell into the trap of looking forward to that too much instead of being present where I was. And I kind of had to take a step back and realize that the only way to get what I want when I'm after my junior year of college is to give everything that I have to like this present day. And so that's kind of what I did. And my junior year kind of just developed into a season that I knew I was capable of having, that I just hadn't yet had. I struggled with injuries my sophomore year, and we talked about my freshman year. And so it just kind of all clicked that year. And I think I knew probably halfway through the season, like, the odds are, like, if I ever want to make any money, first of all, and not get like the signing bonus that like a guy with no eligibility gets, which, no offense to anyone like that, I know plenty of guys like it, but it's like just taking advantage of the time frame and the season that I ended up having. And so, yeah, I kind of figured after that season I had a really good chance of going, and so it was kind of, let's have a really good last ride,
Yeah. Do your coaches work with you on this kind of stuff, or they kind of more focus on the games and the season, or do they kind of mentor you in any way?
They do, like, they'll organize a little bit of, like, we had every November we had scout day, and a bunch of like of the area scouts would come over there, and we had Savage on our team, and so obviously we had a lot of area scouts there that year. So I got to have probably more meetings than I would have had without him being there, since they were already in Greenville. But they help you with that, and then from there, my agent kind of handled things during the season, because we're not really worried about what's going to happen in June or July, whenever the draft was. We're kind of focused on the upcoming weekend series, or we were focused on facing Chase Burns in the regional. Wasn't really too focused on the draft at that point, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how was college in general, just dealing with like the NIL stuff?
NIL blew up after my freshman year. Like, it was a thing my freshman year, but really it blew up going into my sophomore year, and it was so bizarre. I feel like I got to see like the way college baseball was just kind of turn on its head, and I'm personally not a huge fan of it. Like, I don't. It just seems odd to me to buy players that are in college. I think it kind of takes away from the beauty of what college sports are. Like those teams where you have guys that have been together 2, 3, 4 years, where instead it's like, okay, I had a great year. Like, who's going to pay me the most? And
Yeah.
of course, I respect all the guys that like understand that you can make money doing it, but at the same time, like, I'm very thankful that wasn't the route that I took, because I'd be crazy to say I didn't think about transferring at times, but I wouldn't be the person that I am. I wouldn't have my fiance, dog, all that stuff if it wasn't for sticking it out for 3 years. So it's just one of those where it's not for everyone, like chasing NIL, but I'm definitely glad that I made the decisions that I made.
Yeah, it seems like it's working out pretty well. And kind of speaking more on like college, ECU's had some pretty good pros coming in through the ranks. Connor Norby, Savage, Jeff Hoffman, Carter Cunningham, Gavin Williams. Is that like a sneaky good like pipeline for the pros?
Yeah. So we're obviously we're very, very good just winning wise there too. But it's one of those, like, we tend, like recently, especially like since Coach Godwin's been there, we've tended to have some really, really good prospects and a lot of guys that have really developed there and then really taken off when they hit the minor league system. So I think we all know kind of what we're building there. I mean, I'm pretty sure my junior year when I got drafted, we had 7 guys drafted, if I'm not mistaken. So it was one of those, like, it's really, really cool. Like when you look around after the 3 days of the draft and you're like, I can't believe 7 guys that I suited up with for 3 years just got taken. Like, their childhood dreams kind of came to fruition. It's a really, really cool thing. But yeah, like we've really done a good job of developing professional talent.
Yeah, on that, did you watch your teammate Trey Savage and his trajectory through Toronto's system this year?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, was it?
Yeah.
I just know we played at Dunedin in May, and then all of a sudden, the other night I was making a DiGiorno pizza watching him pitch, and I was like, pretty sure Trey's in the big leagues, and I'm sitting here making a DiGiorno pizza. But obviously, I'm very grateful. But it's just crazy. He's very, very talented, obviously, but he's such a good dude. Like, couldn't happen to a better guy. Like, it was just like, it's hard not to smile when you're watching him throw.
Yeah, that must be just the greatest feeling. Just seeing guys that you were with all the time, just going out there, like you said, living their childhood dreams like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like being a catcher too, like getting to catch Trey for 3 years, because he was a freshman, I was a freshman. Like, we were in the dorms together, just kind of growing as people together. And I'm sitting there trying to call games, like what I would throw, and I was right a lot, but also Alejandro Kirk called a pretty good game for him too. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he had a great outing. What was it, Game 5? I think it was. Yeah, I mean, to pitch in the World Series and have that. I think the broadcast said he had 2 batters where he was in a non-favorable count. I think the entire game. That's insane.
It's ridiculous. And the craziest part, like, I don't know if you've seen, I've been sitting here gripping the splitter. Like, I throw it. I mean, if you talk to interview anybody else that I may have played with this year, ask them about my splitter, because Willie Blair, the pitching coach in Dayton, banned me from throwing it because I would throw it back to pitchers all the time. And I picked my time to do it, but he didn't want me to hurt anybody throwing a tumbling splitter up to the mound. So, but yeah.
Has he always had that high release point? Like, that's the other thing that they talked about at nauseam. Was like he had that really high release point, 7 some feet in the air.
Sure what it is.
That's crazy. Is that something that it's just special to him, or is that something that he learned? Like, how's that come about?
So he's always had a high release point, but like from what I can remember, like he was a very, very good bullpen arm for us our freshman year, but he really had to like work on throwing strikes. Obviously, it's kind of a lot of big, powerful arms, and it's what their development is in college, is how can I be around the strike zone effectively. And he learned a curveball that year, and like he had like 4 or 5 pitches when he came into school, but they really, no offense, Trey, were not even average pitches. They were all somewhat below average, but he ended up learning a curveball that he threw like 86 and threw his heater like 97. And it was like, first of all, blocking an 86-mile-an-hour curveball that goes 50 feet really hurts. But he also just like kind of was able to teach himself pitches. But I also think in the development of these pitches, like his arm slot gradually moved up because the splitter has much more depth from a higher slot. The curveball had a better shape, and now you see the slider that he's throwing. Sometimes it moves like a lefty slider. Like it's so funky, and he was able to do so much with it. And I think it just kind of gradually got higher into what you see, what you're seeing today.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and to not to make this a Trey Savage, let's get back to a podcast. Let's get back to Ryan McCrystal a little bit. You were drafted in 2024, like you said, with a bunch of your teammates by the Cincinnati Reds. Like, take us through that process. Take us through that like, you know, beforehand, like doing a bunch of workouts and the scout day, like you said at ECU. Like how did that process develop through you know, basically your junior year to now?
Yeah, so I remember I think I had like 14 scout days, but the one, like there were a couple that stood out to me, but I remember mentioning the Reds to my parents, where it was like it seemed like more of a conversation rather than an interview, if that makes sense. Like it was one of those where I just kind of got along with the guys that I was talking to, and just when I was trying to get more information on them. And then for some reason I had talked to Eddie, the area scout around here. I talked to him a decent amount, nothing crazy, and I just, for some reason, I actually had a hunch that I was going to get drafted by the Reds if they, if I was lucky enough to fall anywhere to where they would want to take me. And it was really, really a surreal moment. My agent, it's a stupid story. I was playing Fortnite with my 2 best friends here because I get too nervous to watch stuff. Like at school, if I DH'd or something, I would like pace the dugout or go underneath in the clubhouse because I get nervous if I can't control something. So I was playing Fortnite with them, and I got a text from my agent, Reds taking you, and then all the information for the deal itself. And I feel bad because we were playing with a random guy in the game, and we all turned our game systems off and everything. And so this guy was in the top 10, and he ended up winning. But it was a very, very surreal moment. I just remember it popped up on the computer before they said it on the TV, and I just kind of like went into a squat and like just started like happy crying. My whole family was there. My best friends were there. It was really cool.
That's awesome. And you said you didn't have any like conversations like they were going to take you. It kind of came out of the blue, but you had like a hunch.
Yeah, I mean, I was told like day 2 was very likely like day 2, early day 3, but it kind of developed, like my agent was kind of like Red's very interested. You know, one of those kind of things where like it was like where can it line up where it's good for them and good for us, because you get a guy like Tyson Lewis in the 2nd round that you pay a crap ton of money. Like, how are we going to deal with the money the right way? You know, just the business side of it, that's not fun. But, you know, he's kind of let me know throughout the day. And then all of a sudden I'm in the top 10 of a Fortnite game and I get told that I'm getting drafted to the Reds. So.
Okay. All right.
That's not a dumb story. It's a cool story. Speaking of Tyson Lewis, you started out the year in Daytona. He worked his way up there this year. What was it like to play in the Florida State League? What was it like catching with Alfredo Duno? Like, he's just a monster of a human being.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of going into that, what was it like when you got the call to go to Dayton?
Yeah. So I am so like unbelievably grateful for my time in Daytona this year. Like, it was some of the most fun that I've had playing baseball with some of the best people. Like Willie Harris, just like one of the best people and coaches that I've ever had. Like he helped me understand, like, it doesn't matter how you get it done, and there's no point in getting the job done if you're not going to be yourself when you do it. And it was one of those, like, I think I always kind of tried to make people happy with the way that I was acting, what I was saying. And I have a big personality, and I was always worried about annoying people. But I think that he was able to like get the message across to me, like, dude, it doesn't matter like what that guy thinks of you. If you're getting hits, if you're playing the game the right way and you're performing, like, no one cares, dude. Like, everyone's going to love you. Like, people are going to get closer to you because of it. And it's kind of one of those things where kind of just went for it. You know what I mean? It's kind of myself all the time. And started out the year, I was going to play 2 or 3 times a week, just like catch 1 time a week maybe. And then ended up hitting well enough after I had a rough month of April. And then Eric Davis came and he talked to me after BP one day, and he was talking about how I was trying to deliver my hands from too high, and like I was trying to create more power and all that I needed to. And I tried it out one game, loved it. I think I had like a double and triple that game, and that kind of turned my season around. Started playing more, catching more, getting to kind of go tandem with Duno. It was a really, really cool thing, just getting to be around all those guys all the time. And then it got to a point like I was playing really, really well and just trying to take advantage of every week. I like hurt my ankle for 1 week sliding into second base on that turf in Daytona. And then I ended up getting the call up to Dayton, and it was awesome. I mean, we were in St. Lucie at the time, and I just remember calling my parents saying, I know like we were all hoping that we would get the call at some point, but like it's just cool getting that first like real call up, to a different level. Just it was a very, very cool moment. But yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful for guys like Lenny Harris, Willie Harris. Just that was awesome. It was a great year there.
Yeah, speaking of Willie Harris, he just got promoted to the Reds, third base coach?
Yeah, he got a new job. So, yeah, shout out to Willie Harris for that. But yeah, and take us through the day that you got promoted. Like was it something that happened before the game or after the game? And did they surprise you? I know they do those videos sometimes with guys, and they bring it in the office for like some reason or whatever. But how did it go for you?
So I got a text from Will Cannon and Nick Sando like before the game. Like I wasn't playing that day. I was in the bullpen that day. Like I had the day off, and they were like, "Yo, when do you get here?" And I was like, "I don't know what you guys are talking about." And they knew before I knew. So like they were all frustrated that they let me know before, but they didn't. Like I didn't think anything of it. I just thought like they were saying like, "Hey, keep playing well. Like we'll see you soon." You know what I mean? But like apparently they actually already knew. They weren't just speculating. But caught in the pen. I think the game was delayed, so it was a little bit late. And then we were all sitting around, and it was like the day after Kenya got called up. And so I was sitting there, and then Willie was like, "All right, we got another one of our guys that's been here since the beginning that unfortunately is leaving us." And he's like turned and looked at me. He's like, "Mac, don't ever change who you are. It's what's gotten you so far. It's what's made us all like you." He goes, "I'm going to miss you saying dumb stuff in the dugout. Some of the stuff I'm not going to miss." Just it was very, very cool. And it's a little bit awkward when you're sitting there and you're just like, he's talking, and I'm getting a little bit emotional, it's really cool. But I know everyone's looking at me too. So I'm like trying to look out on the sides of my eyes. Like, is anyone pissed off? Like, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I guess that is a weird dynamic in terms of like all these guys, obviously you're playing around, are trying to get promoted, trying to get to the next level and keep progressing with their careers. And you get to be the one that's the chosen one for that day, for that, that situation. Like, yeah, yes. I didn't think of it that way, but I mean, I liked it. Were there a lot of guys that came up to you and congratulated you during that?
The whole team kind of lined up right in front of me afterwards, and I got to talk to everybody. And I got really close with Duno this year, so I made sure, like, I went up to him. He said, like, "Hey, congrats, bro, love you," like typical. But I went up to him and was like, "Hey, like, I don't know, like, where your head is, dude, because, like, obviously, like, another catcher getting called up, like, we're both having great years individually. Like, it's nothing away from anything that you're doing. But I was like, just, like, you're young. Like, I'm 22. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen a little faster for me than it is you. Like, you're the chosen one. You're Anakin Skywalker, dude." I didn't say that because I didn't know if you knew who that was. But
yeah,
but I was like, don't change anything you're doing, dude. Like, you've done so much. And then I was gone for almost 2 months, and he hit like 11 homers in a month and a half. And I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not saying what I said did anything, but I'll take credit if I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you get a little bit of that Florida State MVP,
Yeah. Yeah.
Could at
I'll
least
just take
touch
the
it.
M. He can have the VP.
You go to Dayton. They go on their largest winning streak in team history. I think they won 15 straight games, and then they win 18 out of their last 19. So what was it like being a part of that?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was some of the most fun that I've had, like, in a 3-week span in my entire baseball career. It was crazy. We started out with one sweep, and then all of a sudden, the end of the next week, we're like, "You guys realize what like is at stake right here?" And like a really funny like story about that is we actually lost the first 5 games in oh god, I'm gonna forget the name. It was the team that Kenya went to though, but it was against the A's high A team. Forget the name of the place right now, but we lost the first 5 there, and John Michael and I were at our lockers before that Sunday game, and like you lose 5 in a row, like you're having a pretty tough year, like you're trying to stay as positive as you can, and John Mike looks at me and like kind of jokingly goes, "Hey man, you win one. It's called salvaging a series. You never know what that could do for a team." And it was the funniest thing come like the last week of the year because he said that, and then we proceeded to go on the winning streak that we did. So we just kept saying every day, "Hey, gotta just salvage this one," because I mean, no one expected it. We were, I think, statistically the worst team in the history of minor league baseball at one point, and so like coming into like getting called up and being called there, like it's like this is awesome, but at the same time, like I hope it's not sad. Like I hope no one there's sad. You know what I mean? Because like it is what it is at this point. Like I don't want to like the season. I'm going to put the season's over because I feel like it's just starting and I'm going somewhere new. So it was it was an awesome, I think 7 or 8 weeks that I was there.
Yeah, and like I said, Dayton's kind of like my hometown team. I live like less than 30 minutes from there, so I often go to games there. And like, how'd you like the atmosphere there? Dayton's kind of known for having their local, their fans kind of show out and sell out every single game. I think they were 3rd in attendance this year in the minors, and all the other teams around them are AAA clubs who generally have bigger, stadiums and whatnot. So like, what was the atmosphere like playing in Dayton?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so much. I'd always heard about it, and then you get there, and it's just like the environment. Like it was so much cool, so much cool. It was so much fun, and it was so cool. Like at ECU, we had really, really good crowds, and so we always expected it. And then in the Florida League, in the middle of the summer at times, it's like, okay, like we're playing here in Jupiter for the 2nd week in a row, and if someone like coughs, I hear it, But it was really cool. Like it's just one of those things where always feel like I've played well in front of big crowds, and I kind of like you can kind of thrive off it. And so it was a lot of fun being able to like every day you're like, all right, well now I actually feel like I'm in the entertainment business,
Fair, that's fair, yeah. Let's see. And yeah, like how would you evaluate your 2025 season? I know you started in Daytona, got promoted mid-season with Dayton. Like overall, what would you give yourself kind of a grade? Like how do you feel your performance was this year?
I feel like I had a great year. I feel like not that I needed to prove it to myself, but I think just I know that I can hit, but I think that for me it was being able to put together a season where I grew catching wise and just grew being able to do it every single day. Like sure, you can do it on a Tuesday and a Saturday, but can you have days in the middle of the week that allow your like season totals to be a good year, because Lenny Harris actually said it to me best in Dayton or in Daytona. You don't understand how good 0-3 is compared to 0-4 until the end of the season comes around. And he's completely right. When you go 0-3, like that's a hole at bat that you're saving, or you're walking instead of like flying out or something. And then at the end of the week, you look back on, you go 0-3 3 times and 2-4, and then a couple 1-3s, 1-2s, 1-4s. Like it's a much better week than if you get out those 4 extra times. It just keeps adding up. So I think like you're focused so heavily on that day because in reality, like that at bat does matter, even if you're down 11-0, up 11-0. And so I think that I was able to grow a lot in that aspect. And then I really think like just being the same person like every single day was something that it gets hard. And like the dog days, you're like, my body hurts so bad, but at the same time, like I'm so blessed to be able to do this. And I think that I was challenged with things from approach at the plate. I mean, I chase a lot. Like it's just one of those things that I'm trying to learn, but like you have to learn yourself as a player, and you can't learn yourself if you're not the same person every single day. And I think that it was really unique too. I mean, my fiance lived with me this year. And so being able to separate baseball from like my entire life, like in reality, is baseball very important? It is, but it's not who I am. It's just what I do, And so being able to be Ryan McCrystal at home and like be who I needed to be for my family and be able to perform in the field, I think that once I kind of was able to figure that out, I think I was able to really flourish the field. And it was really, really so much fun looking back on it, because it's what the people that come watch games don't see. It's like, how did he do after a bad first month? Like, I was hitting 170 after April and really struggling, and all of a sudden it just a couple of things clicked, and then it was a good year. So I'm very, very blessed and thankful for the year that I had, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, for sure. I like to think baseball is kind of like life in a way, in terms of like it's a grind every single day, and you're trying to just carve out the W's you can in any whatever scenario you are that day and whatnot. And yeah, sometimes you have bad months, sometimes you have good weeks, sometimes you have overall great years or down years, but like you still apply yourself every single day. Was it tough, I guess, like trying to separate that, trying not to bring your work home, so to speak, to your fiance?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It was something that I think I've grown a lot in my faith and stuff the past 2 years, and I think that that really, really helped me be able to understand like what was really important. And so I think the beginning of the year, like there was a span where I was like 0 for 30 in April or something, and it's just like yeah, baseball isn't easy, but I also have never gone 0 for 30 in my life. Like every guy that I'm facing right now was a Friday night starter in college. It's like, how can I approach each day and not be like, oh my gosh, I'm facing 100 today? Because you're going to see it at some point, but it's not supposed to be easy. There's a reason that people don't hit 600. It's because you're not supposed to get a hit most of the time. It's just not the way that it's going to work. Like that's why they give you 130 games to do it, or 160 games to do it, because you need that long of a sample size to really see how good somebody is. And with that, I think that I kept asking God to make me more patient. I think I'm praying, and it's the one thing that was really cool that my fiance helped me with. Is she like, I'd be like, oh, it happened again today. Like I'm getting in my own head during at bats. Like I'm calling the bat against myself rather than sticking to what my approach is. Typical like baseball things. She goes, you realize like God's presenting you with situations that make you want to be frustrated, and you have to be able to be patient. He's not just going to give you patience. And so I think that like when she said that, it kind of all clicked, where it's like, let me just go head on with everything and kind of just attack it and realize like everything is a test, and let me just be myself every day and try and win each day as that test.
Yeah, that's amen to that. I guess kind of taking a weird turn with this, but I got a little rapid fire for you. It's gonna be a 2-parter because I do have a follow up at the end of this. But
okay.
So pregame meal.
Well, this year was whatever they had for us catering wise, but I love like midday at lunch. I like to have like a chicken and rice or steak and rice kind of thing, and then I can't eat a lot before games, like catching wise. I just feel sick behind the plate, like heavy. So I would typically have like acai bowls or a smoothie from Tropical Smoothie or something light like that.
Favorite hobby? I did see some pictures of you on your Instagram page of you like throwing football on the Tortugas. I know you golf too.
Yeah, I play golf a ton. That's my biggest hobby. Unfortunately, I've had the shanks for like a month, so it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, how much do I love it? But at the same time, I go back every single day. But yeah, that playing with my dog, just hanging out, those are kind of my favorite things to do.
Your favorite player growing up?
Ooh, Chase Utley, probably.
And favorite ballpark? It could be minors or MLB so far.
Oh, it's so tough. Sorry, it's a tough question. I really did like Citizens Bank. It's where I went to my big league game, and so I think that kind of a little bit of a nostalgic feel too. My grandparents taking me to a game, but yeah, I like Citizens Bank a lot.
It's a pretty nice ballpark. Superstitions.
I'm not very superstitious. The only thing is I'll put my left cleat on first and my left batting glove on first, but I always told myself that I should do that anyway because I'm left-handed.
That's funny. Trevor Kuntzel said the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, his left foot, his left shoe goes on first every time. That's what he says.
Okay, as long as he doesn't put his left sock on and then his left shoe and then his right sock and then his right shoe, that's good.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a different level.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
And then a go-to song before a game?
Changed a lot this year. Malvin Valdez and we kind of had to fight for the aux at times. So, there's a song. I play a lot of Shakira in there pregame, and then I don't know. I had a really old school playlist and Carrie Underwood, some pretty good stuff like that.
Thanks.
And then kind of not really rapid fire, but what are your goals for this coming season?
My goals for this year. I am still really focused on my just developing catching wise. Like I'm obsessed with. I didn't really have a catching coach until I had Corky after I got drafted, and I think that being able to see progress catching wise has gotten me a little bit addicted to it. So I definitely want to improve receiving, and I didn't throw out a ton of runners this year. But that's kind of what I'm good at doing. Is my arm is pretty good, and so I think just being able to move a little slower behind the plate in order to throw out more guys is something that I'm going to try and work on. But other than those two things, I think just I had a couple weeks this year where I kind of just got out of it mentally at the plate, and those weeks add up. But I think hitting for more power is going to be easier, not being in the Florida League and being a superhuman like Duno. But a little bit more power, and then that's really it. I think I'm just excited to get back out there, and it's only been 2 months since I played.
Yeah, well, I'll say like you say that you're working out like a little bit and whatnot. Like, are you working with ECU guys there since you're back home, or like is there like a workout group you have or a trainer?
No, actually, I haven't gone back to school yet, but I always work out at the gym right around here, and then I go hit with my hitting guy. He's from Danville, Virginia. It's like an hour and a half away. So a couple of days a week, I'll go up there and hit with him, and I'll send video to our hitting coach Troy from Dayton, and so just staying in touch with those guys.
Nice. Yeah. Well, Ricky, you got anything else?
I don't think I do right now. I might have one pop up in a minute though.
Yeah, I would say it and being a baseball guy, a lot of baseball guys watch all sorts of baseball all the time. Like, I mean, I'm watching Arizona Fall League, I'm watching Duno and Collier out there and all that. Like, you watch, I'm guessing you watched the Reds this year. Like, what were your take on like how the Redlegs did this year?
Yeah, I am very, very, very excited for the future of just the Reds organization. I think like the way that Terry Francona is going about things is making everybody realize that like winning is very possible, and we can win as like who we are, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't matter how you get the job done as long as you get the job done. And so I think that we proved this year, like, it doesn't have to always look the best, but I think that throughout the organization, it's sprouting, like, we can do this. And like, it doesn't just start at the top. It's one of those things that I kind of took pride in as someone that came out of college, where in college, all that matters is winning, obviously. But like sometimes in pro ball, it gets kind of mixed up where like people take development over winning. But I think for me at least, like, I develop the most when I'm trying to win, when I'm trying to develop as a person, but also with the guys around me. And so I think that I definitely felt that in Daytona and Dayton. And so it was really, really cool this year, but I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I guess I do have one that popped up. Have you been to Cincinnati yet, and do you plan on getting down here?
I haven't gone to the stadium or anything. I've driven past it. My Uber took me there because I had to go there from the airport when I got called up to Dayton. But I don't have any plans to go there yet, but I definitely would like to, because I know when that place is packed, it's rocking. And I know that Cincinnati is such a good organization from a fan perspective because they just care. So at some point, I'm definitely going to make my way over there, and hopefully I'm putting on a uniform too.
Yeah, for sure. Because we do have Reds Fest coming up in January or January.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have any plans on who they're having come out there yet, but I think we're looking into trying to get out there. Don't know how that's going to work out yet, but if you're there, we'd love to have you stop by if you
Absolutely.
get out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like you were talking about Tito, just to circle back to that, because that I really was captured by that. Like, are you feeling like there's a philosophy that's kind of being departed on all you guys, like being instructed, or is it kind of just a thing where you see the top kind of being successful with the way they're playing baseball, the philosophy that they're going about, the way the game is played, or is that something that actually is like, like he's telling Vince Harrison Jr., right, is your guys' coach at Dayton, like is he getting like direct instructions and whatnot, or I don't know. I don't want you to give away state secrets, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, so Tito talked to us at battery camp in January, where it's catchers and pitchers, and I wanted to run through the spring training, like the locker room wall, because it was just like he just cares. You know what I mean? Like he's a really good person, and I think that like when you're playing for somebody like that, like whether you're at the top or not, like you can sense it, and people want to do well. Like they want to play well, and they want to develop in the ways that they know that like he prioritizes, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah.
I think that it's really, really easy to like approach each day like and trying to be the best version of yourself when like the goal is to play for a guy like that. And definitely it's just like it's like a little trickle down effect, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's something that organizationally there's like a bulletin board of like this is what we value or what have you, or if it's just something like, you know,
Yes.
the head guy. Go ahead, sorry.
So like he's one of those, like I love it because I hit the ball very hard, but like I can't try to do that because if I do, I'll hit it. I can hit balls 114, but at the same time, I don't want to hit 150 with. I'm okay. I had 4 home runs this year. If I wasn't in the floor league, I would have had more. Obviously, like I'm not trying to talk myself up at all. I promise.
It's true.
Like it doesn't matter if a home run is hit 97 or 197. You know, it's still a home run. A hit's a hit. Like I got a hit off Andrew Painter in an 0-2 count this year, and I think I hit it like 66. But like it was 100.5 up and in 0-2, and like I got a hit, and it's like that's the exact same thing as if I pimped a ball off the wall and it didn't go, and I ended up on first base. Like it's the same thing. And so when it comes down to just like getting the job done, I feel like that is something that like I love because it helps you win too. Like it doesn't matter if you hit a home run to get a run in, or if you move the guy from second to third when there's no outs by hitting a ground ball to the second baseman, and then the run scores. Like that's just as much on you as it is the guy that gets them in. And so I think that from what I can tell and from the conversations that I've had, like that's kind of where the organization is heading, and I love it.
Yeah, I like what you just said there because that reminded me of a Francona quote earlier in this season. In Miami, Noelvi Marte hit a home run, 116 over the wall, and one of the beat writers asked him, he's like, "Yeah, Marte hit that ball 116. That was pretty. I hit hard." He's like, "It's still a run."
Yeah,
I was like, I like that because it's just you know it's level headed. It's him not.
I liked it too because I played with Duno, and I was like, "Whatever, dude, I get it. Okay, you can hit the ball 160. I can't, but my home runs are going to be home runs too, man."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, and yeah, Rick, if you don't have anything else for our guests, I think we're coming to the end. But we do have one last question that we ask all our guests, especially if they're part of the Reds organization or part of the Reds, you know, universe in terms of content creators, journalists, and whatnot. But you know, being the somewhat tortured fan base that we are, we like to ask everybody: do you think the Reds will win in our lifetime?
Absolutely. I truly, I think just throughout you see so much talent throughout our organization, and then I think that getting a taste of going to the playoffs this year and winning, and I think we have the right people in our organization. Like I've always said that we have the best people in the organization. You got guys like Corky Miller going around helping you get better. You're going to get better. Like you're going to care, and I think that this organization is doing everything the right way, and I think that it's definitely going to happen, and it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I love that answer. And then, yeah, Eric Davis as well coming in and helping you as well. I'm glad that where there's a bunch of former Reds or guys that, you know, been around this organization or giving back in certain ways. And that's awesome to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty, like the first conversation I had with Eric Davis, I don't want to try and like be like in shock when I'm talking to people, you know, like I don't want to think that highly of people, but at the same time I was like, dude, like, is this actually happening right now? Or am I just like seeing this? You know what I mean? I'm on the backfield at spring training. He's talking to me like, does he even know? How does he know my name? Same thing like when I saw Barry Larkin and talked to him, or when I met Johnny Bench this year, came in and met Duno and it was like, first of all, his hands are huge. Second of all, like I can't believe this is happening at the same time. But like, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, I guess we even dive into those spring training stories. We should have got some more out of that.
Part 2.
Yeah, we'll have you on again and talk about maybe in March when you're in spring training, get some stuff out of you then, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Be happy to.
Well, yeah, well, we're really appreciative of your time, Ryan. I know we had some technical difficulties. I'm glad we were able to fight through them. Persist, just like we got to do in life and, in baseball and keep on grinding. We're really glad to have you in the organization. We really, we can even have a whole podcast if we want to talk about faith. I don't know, Ricky and I we can do that as well.
I would absolutely love that.
And so we're really grateful for all the silly questions that you've answered and whatnot. But we wish you the best of luck going into 2026, and hope to have you again on this podcast. So thanks again.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Go Reds.
Go Reds.
Great, baby. Go Reds.